wake up one day and you realize nothing has changed. The same problems stare at you, the same dreams lie untouched, the same version of you, tired, uncertain, quietly frustrated, is still standing in the mirror. And somewhere deep inside, a small voice whispers, maybe this is just the way it is now. But let me tell you something that will either shake you awake or offend your comfort. Your life won't fix itself. Not your career, not your mindset, not your relationships, not your health, not your future. Left alone, things don't change. They decay. And if you're sitting around waiting for time to heal you, lift you, or rescue you, then you are already behind. Because time doesn't heal, it reveals. Time exposes what you ignored, what you postponed, and what you were too afraid to confront. You see, life responds to intention. It bends for the person who gets up, rolls up their sleeves and says, enough. Change doesn't come to those who want it. It comes to those who demand it from themselves. So if you're stuck right now, if you're tired of feeling like you're living in a loop, ask yourself this: what are you still tolerating? Because whatever you tolerate, you allow. And what you allow will rule you. Some of you have been negotiating with fear, compromising with self-doubt, and playing house with procrastination. But here's the truth: nothing changes until you do. And no one is coming to save you. You've been equipped with more than you think. The power to transform your life is not out there. It's already in you, but it's waiting for one thing: a decision. A decision to stop settling, a decision to stop making excuses, a decision to rise, not when it's easy, not when you feel ready, but now. Because change doesn't ask for permission, it asks for force. There's a silent danger that creeps into our lives, not with alarms or red flags, but with comfort. It wraps itself around us like a warm blanket, subtle, soft, and deceptively safe. You stop pushing. You stop questioning. You stop reaching. Why? Because everything feels fine, not great, not fulfilling, not your highest potential, just fine. And that right there is the slow death of growth. Comfort is dangerous because it never announces its arrival. It disguises itself as stability, as peace, even as success. But behind it, stagnation. Behind it, missed opportunities. Behind it, the dull ache of unrealized potential. You weren't born to survive your life. You were meant to shape it, mold it, stretch it. But comfort convinces you to pause. It whispers, why push harder? This is good enough, isn't it? But good enough is the enemy of your best. You don't grow in rooms where everything is predictable. You don't evolve in situations that never stretch you. Comfort convinces you to stay where you are. And over time, where you are becomes a cage. A quiet prison with no bars, but no key either. It's the kind of place where you forget you're locked in because everything feels familiar. Think about the times in your life when you changed the most. It wasn't when things were easy. It wasn't when you were safe. It was when something shook you, when you were uncomfortable, when you were stretched past what you thought you could handle. That's where growth lives, on the edge of your discomfort. Some people think comfort equals happiness, but here's the truth. Comfort equals limitation. It's the ceiling you stop at when you don't believe you can go higher. It's the routine you settle into when you're too afraid to try something new. And the longer you sit in comfort, the harder it becomes to leave, because comfort doesn't just dull your ambition, it numbs your awareness. You stop seeing what's possible. You stop hearing the inner voice telling you there's more. The world doesn't reward comfort. It rewards courage. It rewards action. It rewards the person who says, this might scare me, this might stretch me, but I'm not staying stuck here. Growth hurts. Change is uncomfortable. But you'll never know what's inside of you until you step outside of what's easy. If you don't challenge your comfort will challenge your destiny. You look up in 5 years and realize the world moved forward, but you stayed still. You'll wonder where the time went, where the spark went, where you went. But deep down, you'll know the truth. You traded your potential for convenience. Discomfort is the birthplace of transformation. It's the fire that refines, the pressure that forms diamonds, the stretch that builds strength. Every time you choose challenge over comfort, you take a step closer to the person you were meant to become. And every time you choose ease over effort, you give a little more of your future away. You have to ask yourself, are you living or are you just existing inside a carefully crafted routine? Is your comfort keeping you calm or keeping you small? At some point, you have to disrupt the pattern. Push against the familiar. Dare to do what feels uncomfortable, because that's the only place real change begins. And while comfort may be the first trap, time is the second illusion. We tell ourselves things will get better with time, that somehow by waiting long enough, the wounds will heal, the confusion will clear, and the right path will just appear. But time on its own does not fix what you refuse to face. Time is not a healer, it's a revealer. It exposes what you've buried, ignored, and postponed. It magnifies the silence you tried to outrun. The truth is, time doesn't make pain go away. It just makes the consequences of inaction more permanent. That conversation you're avoiding, it won't get easier next week. That dream you keep delaying, it's not going to chase you. That habit you know is costing you your future. It won't fix itself just because another month goes by. You can decorate time with distractions, but eventually, silence always catches up. And when it does, it asks you the hard question, what did you do with me? We like to believe we have time. It makes us feel safe. It gives us permission to procrastinate. But while you're waiting for the perfect moment, life is moving. The clock doesn't pause for your fear. And it certainly doesn't rewind for your regrets. You can't get back the time you wasted staying in the wrong relationship, the wrong mindset, or the wrong version of yourself. You can't refund the years spent pretending you were okay when you weren't. But you can decide right now not to let the next moment be stolen the same way. Time doesn't heal what you continue to hide. If anything, it makes the pain deeper, the habits stronger, the excuses louder. It buries the truth under layers of distraction until you forget what you were even running from. But your future remembers, your purpose remembers, and one day you will remember too. And when that day comes, you won't be thinking about how long it took. You'll be thinking about what you could have done if you had only started sooner. So stop waiting for a sign. Stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for more clarity, more confidence, more permission. Clarity comes from doing. Confidence comes from showing up messy and doing it anyway. And permission, you don't need anyone's approval to evolve. You only need one thing. A decision to stop letting time pass while you sit in delay. A decision to confront what's been stealing your energy. A decision to act now, imperfectly but boldly, because the longer you wait, the heavier the weight becomes. The more excuses you collect, the more potential you leave untapped, and the cruelest part, time won't warn you when it's almost up. It will just run out. And when it does, what will you have to show for it? Did you use time or did you let it use you? This is your wake-up call. Not tomorrow, not next month, now. The clock is still ticking, but this time, so are you. There's something dangerous about what you allow to remain in your life unchecked. Not the loud, obvious things, but the quiet compromises, the silent habits, the subtle patterns. Because over time, what you tolerate becomes what you normalize. And what you normalize becomes your reality. The most destructive things in your life aren't always the most painful. Sometimes they're the most familiar. The relationship that drains you, the job that numbs you, the thought patterns that sabotage you. And instead of confronting them, you adjust, you make room, you justify, you shrink a little more each time, telling yourself, it's not that bad, I can handle it. It could be worse, but here's the truth you don't say out loud. You're not handling it. It is that bad, and it will get worse. Because what you tolerate, you teach, not just to others, but to yourself. Every time you allow disrespect, your soul learns to accept dishonor. Every time you ignore your goals, your potential learns to stay quiet. Every time you let fear talk you out of action, your mind learns that hesitation wins. Your boundaries shape your becoming. They are the guardrails that protect your future. And when you lower them to accommodate what's comfortable, you're not being kind, you're being careless. You can't elevate your life while entertaining what keeps you small. We become what we accept. You can't demand excellence while tolerating mediocrity in your effort, your circle, or your self-talk. You can't become powerful while letting toxic habits sit at your table. And you can't move forward while dragging things that were never meant to go with you. Look around your life right now. What are you putting up with that you were supposed to let go of? What are you carrying that's not aligned with who you're becoming? What conversations are you avoiding because they're hard but necessary? If it costs your peace, your energy, your growth, it's too expensive to tolerate. Every day you say yes to things you should have said no to, you delay the life you actually want. You reinforce a version of yourself that no longer fits the vision in your heart, and the scariest part, the longer you let it stay, the more it convinces you that you need it. That you're not strong enough to walk away, that comfort is safer than freedom. But freedom doesn't come from escape. It comes from courage, from calling things by their real name, from setting the standard for your life and refusing to let anything beneath it stay. And that's not arrogance, that's alignment. The reality is this: you don't get what you deserve. You get what you allow. And your future is begging you to stop allowing anything that insults your growth. So when people ask why you're setting new boundaries, why you're walking away, why you're changing, let them. You don't owe explanations for choosing evolution. You only owe yourself one thing: the life you know you were meant to live. It starts with refusing to settle. It starts with no longer being available for anything that contradicts your worth. Because the day you stop tolerating what drains you is the day your life starts to rise. We wait for the right time. We wait to feel ready. We wait for fear to disappear. But the truth is, change doesn't wait for you to be comfortable. It doesn't wait for clarity. It doesn't knock politely and ask, are you prepared now? No. Change responds to one thing only: a decision. Not a wish, not a thought, not another plan scribbled in a notebook. A decision backed by action. The idea that you have to feel ready is one of the biggest lies holding people back. Readiness is a byproduct of motion, not a prerequisite for it. You don't build courage by standing still. You don't gain confidence by overthinking every step. You build it by stepping out anyway, unsure, unpolished, uncomfortable, and doing the thing that scares you. Because the fear won't leave until you prove it wrong. We like to romanticize change as this perfect moment of clarity where everything aligns and the world finally gives us permission to move. But real change is messy, it's scary, it's raw, and it often begins when nothing makes sense except one truth screaming inside of you: I can't stay here. That moment, that decision is where everything shifts. It's when you stop letting emotions govern your future, because if you only act when you feel motivated, you'll rarely act. If you only move when you feel secure, you'll stay stuck. The future doesn't belong to those who feel confident. It belongs to those who decide to act even when they're terrified. You can't wait for the fear to pass. You can't wait for someone to drag you forward. No one is coming to give you permission. No one is going to fight for your transformation harder than you. And every day you delay the decision, the door gets a little heavier. The doubts get a little louder. The cost gets a little higher. This isn't about making giant leaps. Sometimes the most powerful decision you'll ever make is simply not going back, not picking up what you just put down, not replying to the text, not repeating the pattern. A small, firm decision to stop betraying yourself is where your real power begins. So many people are stuck in the cycle of almost changed, almost healed, almost committed. But almost doesn't transform lives. Decision does. You don't evolve in thought, you evolve in action. You don't grow from hoping, you grow from doing. And yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, your hands might shake. Yes, people might not understand. But the discomfort of growth is always more valuable than the numbness of staying the same. One costs you temporary fear, the other costs you your future. This is your turning point, and it won't come with fireworks or applause. It comes in quiet defiance. In the still moment, you tell yourself, I'm done waiting. I'm done shrinking. I'm done pretending I need more time. You don't. What you need is within you, but it's buried under layers of hesitation. Peel them back, stand up, act. Not when it feels easy, but when it matters most. Because the life you want doesn't respond to delay. It responds to bold, imperfect, relentless decision. There comes a point where hoping is no longer enough, where wishing starts to feel like a trap, where vision boards, affirmations, and good intentions lose their shine because deep down you know you've done enough dreaming now. It's time to force the shift, because nothing in your life changes until you do. Not in theory, not in spirit, but in motion, in action, in force. The breakthrough you're waiting for, it's not waiting for the stars to align. It's waiting for you to stop playing safe and start taking control. Life doesn't hand over transformation gently. It doesn't unfold gracefully for those who tiptoe. It bows to those who disrupt it, who demand more, who stop asking for permission and start taking responsibility. If your life feels stuck, it's not because you lack potential. It's because you're not applying pressure. Pressure to break the cycles. Pressure to shut the door on what's draining you. Pressure to stop replaying old stories and start writing a new one. Some things in life won't move until you move them. And some doors won't open until you kick them down. Force isn't about violence. It's about intention backed by action. It's about doing the hard things not once, but consistently. Waking up earlier, saying no more often, walking away from comfort, cutting off distractions, taking the steps you've avoided again and again. That's the kind of force that shifts atmospheres, not just around you, but within you. You can't whisper your way into the next level of your life. You can't beg comfort to give you growth. And you certainly can't wait for fear to give you permission to rise. Fear doesn't retreat. It only respects force. The more you lean in, the more it backs down. The more you take action in the face of doubt, the more power you take back. So many people are waiting for a moment. But the moment doesn't come to those who wait, it comes to those who create it, who wake up one day and say, this ends with me. This chapter closes now. I'm not staying in this version of my life one more day. That's when the shift begins. Not because the world changed, but because you did. Everything in your life is responding to your standard. If you want different results, raise it. Raise what you expect, raise what you allow, raise how you show up, and raise how relentless you're willing to be. Because until you do, nothing else moves. The job won't change, the mindset won't sharpen, the opportunity won't land. But the second you start forcing change with focused action, everything starts to shift slowly at first, and then suddenly. You weren't built to coast. You weren't wired for average. That unrest you feel isn't weakness. It's a signal, a sign that your next level is pulling at you, but it won't come gently. It will resist you, it will test you, it will ask, how bad do you really want this? And your answer will be found not in words, but in force. So stop negotiating with excuses, stop sitting at the table with fear, stop asking life to hand you the breakthrough, and start becoming the person who earns it. The kind of person who doesn't wait to be chosen, but chooses themselves. Because the shift you need isn't coming. You are. The truth has been laid bare. Your comfort won't carry you, your time won't rescue you, your tolerance won't protect you, and your silence won't change your story. You've heard the call. You've felt the friction, that burning inside. That's not frustration, it's fuel. That's your future, begging for you to stop waiting and start moving. Not tomorrow, not when it's easier, but now. Because if you want the life you've never had, you must become the person you've never been. You have to push, you have to rise, you have to force the change that no one else can make for you. Don't you dare underestimate the power of a made-up mind. One decision, one final no, one fearless yes, one bold step can crack open the cage you've been sitting in and release the version of you the world has yet to see. This is your moment, not a maybe, not a someday. This is your turning point. You are not stuck. You are not broken. You are not too late. You are powerful, capable, and absolutely built for the breakthrough ahead. But you must choose it again and again, every day, especially when it's hard. So get up, shake off the doubt, set the standard, own your time, refuse to shrink, force the change, and never, ever hand your power to fear again. Good luck on your journey. Now go become unforgettable. Thank you.